Good morning. Mackenzie Johnston with Tri-State Livestock News, bringing you your Wednesday morning headlines concerning fair cattle markets. Sponsored by Sandhills Beef Company of Mullen, Nebraska. Eat like a rancher. America First means buying directly from the producer. Be the change. To learn about everything Sandhills Beef Company has to offer, be sure to head on over to their website, sandhillsbeefco.com. U.S. Cattlemen's Association reported on Tuesday that U.S. Senators Deb Fischer, a Republican from Nebraska, and Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, introduced the Cattle Market Transparency Act of 2021. This bill has been introduced to accomplish two goals: ensure regionally sufficient negotiated cash trade and equip producers with more information to aid marketing decisions. According to USCA Region 7 board member Lee Richmond of Nebraska, this bill builds off the recommendations provided by the USDA in its box beef and fed cattle price spread investigation report. It also stems from discussions producers are having across the nation in response to historically low cattle prices and a dysfunctional marketplace. Curtis Martin, USCA Region 1 Director, said that COVID-19 brought to light the need for diverse cattle markets. When packing facilities started experiencing bottlenecks in their line speeds during the pandemic, they first cut ties with independent producers, while corporate feeders were unharmed because of their contract agreements. Martin closed by saying that the Cattle Market Transparency Act pulls the meatpacker's thumb off of the scale, so to speak, and begins the rebalancing act of negotiating power between the packer and the producer. Shaylee Stewart with DTN Progressive Farmer has reported that current cash cattle prices are an insult to feedlots. Since the first of the year, feedlots have strategized and marketed their cattle to the best of their abilities, but the cash cattle market has been held hostage at $114 per hundredweight, according to Shaylee Stewart. Currently, box beef prices are the second highest that they have ever been for this time period, yet cash cattle prices are the lowest they've been in the last 10 years for this time frame. When you look back over the last 10 years, live cattle prices have ranged anywhere from $124 to $158 for the end of February. Last week's average was $114. This was $10 to $44 weaker than what we've seen over the last decade. According to Stewart, packers have been able to pressure the cash cattle market and keep it from trading in the 10-year threshold of $124 to $158 by working diligently to build their captive supply in this time frame. Last week's cash cattle trade totaled 84,242 head. 91% of that total is committed for delivery in the next 2 weeks. The remaining 9% is scheduled for delivery in the following 15 to 30 days. A positive through all of this is that very few cattle were procured last week that fall in the later delivery. With that being said, in the coming weeks, packers will once again be able to get by without having to support the cash cattle market. Drovers has reported that during the last week of February, as we just went over, average cash fed cattle prices were steady with the week before at $114 per hundredweight. Despite these prices being steady, cattle feeding profit margins took a dive. For the last week of February, average feed yard margins were $14 per head, down $68 from the week before, according to Sterling Beef Profit Tracker. Closeouts showed increasing costs with $8 more per head for feed and $40 more per head for feeder cattle. This resulted in the cost for finishing a steer to increase to $1,538 per head, up from $1,498 per head last year at this time. Packer margins increased $33 a head to an average of $430 per head. A year ago, packer profits were $69 per head. The packer feeder margin spread is now at $416 per head, up $110 per head from the previous week's $306 per head. The beef cutout increased to $239.19 per hundredweight. 1 year ago, the cutout averaged $205.35 per hundredweight. Meeting Place has reported that a recent recall of 149 tons of ready-to-eat canned corned beef products could not come at a worse time with St. Paddy's Day right around the corner. The corned beef was imported and distributed all throughout the U.S. without the benefit of FSIS import reinspection. The issue was discovered after FSIS received a tip from an industry representative. So far, there have been no confirmed reports of adverse reactions due to consumption of the products. But be careful when St. Paddy's Day rolls around. Finally, National Beef Wire reported yesterday that choice box beef ended the day at $234.68. That was down $4.35. Select box beef ended the day at $226.17, and that was down $1.47. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.